but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
Robert Quinn gets to the quarterback as well as any defensive end in the league. A lot of it goes back to his high school wrestling background. He understands leverage and hands as well as anyone.
They're going to look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. A look now at the defensive starting lineup for the 49ers. They played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. They'll try to run for it. Lewis. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive. Couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. A second down run with Lewis.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Dumps it off to Lewis. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here we go. 91.
They'll start on the ground with Gore. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Smith. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Third and long, it's Smith. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those two hands over his head, that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1 yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. An update now from Oakland, and an early advantage in that one for the Giants. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. He'll drop to throw. He'll find his man on the comeback route, complete. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Got the guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And down inside the 15 he goes. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown.
That was a nice job there pulling that one in. Now, this is an offense that will certainly spread the ball around a bit, and this is a guy the defenses had better focus on.
2nd quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. If there was one area that the coach emphasized in our pregame meeting, it was red zone offense.
And the sense I got from it, and I think you did as well, they weren't real happy with how they were executing previously, so they put a lot of time and effort into it because getting points is paramount. Doesn't matter what you do otherwise, don't leave the red zone without putting points on the board.
On 2nd down now, it's Lewis. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Ready? 30 base.
Now back to throw. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A 7-yard touchdown grab as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. So this drive spans 7 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On 1st and 10, Smith under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Smith. They complete it to Hill. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 28. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. The run right side. It's Gore. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A 2-yard touchdown grab as they are now on the board here in the first half. He's definitely making his mark early in the year from the tight end position. 2 games played, 2 touchdowns.
And from what I've seen on tape so far this year, his ability to use the fakes well, his body in the red zone, they should continue to look his way through the entire season.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Looking to throw. They'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Come off the ball. Show it up. Show it. Go.
A draw play here. Lewis. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. 2nd and 2. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. Then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Here's Smith. They go with a screen to Gore. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you're talking about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But
all right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They run. It's Gore. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Moreno. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, And that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll fake it. Now Smith. It's caught by Davis. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Take 4, take 4.
They'll start off with a give to Lewis. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A gain there of 21 yards.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
Ready, go. Ready.
Now Lewis here on first down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Again, it's Lewis. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. This is Lewis. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Now Lewis. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
3rd down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Now.
They'll look to throw here. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. try again with Lewis. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up first and goal.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
This is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. An 11-yard touchdown. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
Brandon, what we just saw there were two guys who are in sync. The person delivering the ball, but especially the person running the route. Tremendous job. It results in a terrific play.
So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jack?
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down.
Good job.
And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
On second down, it's Lewis. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, third down. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. With his guys trailing here in the fourth, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. Throwing is Smith. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off near the 44. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
Let's go.
And And San Francisco gets set to go here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
70, Indy. 65.
On first down, it's Smith. It's complete. It's Gore. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be a second down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Gore. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. He's got Gore. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 34-yard line. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 for the Niners there and a first down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed the quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
He's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. So the victory here for Seattle. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all...
Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more desto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, dummy pesos. Hit your sus, I'll replace those.